Thank you for stepping into this circle of quiet connection and joining our hearts together in this sacred space. If you find your spirit being drawn toward this stillness and wish to walk this path of faith with us every day, I invite you to subscribe to the Miracle Prayer Studio channel so we can continue to seek the Lord's presence side by side. Living through these beautiful days of the Easter season often brings a strange tension between the joy of the resurrection and the lingering worries of our daily lives. We see the flowers blooming and hear the songs of new life, yet inside, our minds might still be racing with questions about where we are going and how we will get there. It feels so human to want to see the whole map before we take a single step, to want the assurance of the finish line before we even start the day. But this season reminds us that the greatest victory happened in the quiet, in a place no one was watching, and that life began again, even when the world thought all hope was lost. Let us sit together for a moment and breathe in the reality that we do not have to carry the weight of the future. We can simply be here, present and open, letting our souls catch up to the peace that Jesus has already won for us. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verse 3, we find a resting place for our weary thoughts in the words, "You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." This promise feels like a cool hand on a fevered brow, especially now as we celebrate the risen King. To have our minds stayed on him means we aren't letting our thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind, but rather anchoring them in the truth of who he is. During Easter, we see that God's version of peace isn't just a temporary quietness or the absence of trouble. It is a perfect peace that stands firm even when the tomb is empty and the world is upside down. It is the peace Jesus spoke when he stood among his frightened friends and said, "Peace be with you." My heart hears that invitation today to stop looking at the waves and start looking at the one who walks upon them. This trust is not something we have to manufacture on our own. It is a gift we receive when we simply turn our faces toward the light of his love and decide that his character is more reliable than our circumstances. My dear Lord, I come before you now with a soul that I am trying to quiet, laying down the noise of my own expectations at your feet. I want to offer you this journey I am on, this spiritual path that sometimes feels so clear and other times feels shrouded in mist. I give you my feet and the steps they will take today, asking that you would be the rhythm in my stride. I surrender the need to know exactly where this road leads or how long it will take to reach the places I am dreaming of. My King, I am. Learning that being with you is the destination and that every mile traveled in your company is a mile spent in grace. I offer you my heart, which often tries to plan for every possible problem, and I ask that you would hold it gently, teaching it to beat in time with your own. Father, I place into your hands the things that have been keeping me awake, the worries that feel like heavy stones in my pockets. I don't want to hold on to them anymore. I want to be light enough to follow you wherever you go. I give you my family, my work, and the quiet dreams I'm almost afraid to speak out loud. I trust that you are the master gardener of my life, and that even the seasons that look like winter to me are actually times when you are working deep beneath the soil of my heart. Jesus, I trust your timing. I trust your wisdom. I trust that because you are risen, everything in my life that feels dead or dormant has the potential to bloom again in your perfect time. I want to say thank you for the way you have met me in the middle of my restlessness so many times before. Thank you for being the constant friend who doesn't leave when I am anxious or doubtful. I'm so grateful for this Easter season, for the reminder that you have already overcome the world and that I am living in the aftermath of your victory. Thank you for the breath in my lungs and the small hidden mercies that I often overlook when I am too busy worrying. I thank you for the people in my life who reflect your love to me, and for the way you use even my mistakes to craft something beautiful and meaningful. Your goodness is a shield around me, and I am so thankful that your love does not depend on how well I perform or how much I achieve. Father in heaven, I ask for your forgiveness for the times I have let my worries grow larger than my faith. I'm sorry for the days I have acted as if I were alone, carrying burdens that you never intended for me to bear. Please forgive me for doubting your provision and for trying to force doors open that you have closed for my protection. I realize that my anxiety is often a sign that I have stopped trusting your heart, and for that, I ask for your mercy. Please wash away the guilt I feel for not being spiritual enough, or for having moments where my fear feels stronger than my hope. I am grateful that you do not look at me with judgment, but with a compassion that calls me back to your side. Jesus, I long for the kind of stillness that only you can provide, a calm that settles deep in my bones and stays there throughout the day. I ask that you would quiet the voices of "not enough" and "what if" that try to shout over your gentle whisper. Please help me to remember that my spiritual journey is not a race to be won, but a relationship to be enjoyed. When the world tells me I should be further along or that I am falling behind, remind me that I am exactly where you have placed me. Help me to trust the slow work of your Spirit within me, knowing that you are never in a hurry and that you never waste a single moment of my life. My Father, I lift up my family to you, asking that our home would be a place where your peace is the foundation. I pray for my children and the young ones in our lives, that they would grow up knowing that they are safe in your hands. Please protect their minds from the anxieties of this world and help them to see the beauty of walking with you from an early age. I ask for wisdom in my relationships, that I would be a source of calm for those around me rather than a source of stress. Help us to speak words of life to one another and to hold each other up when the road gets steep. I pray that our love for one another would be a reflection of the sacrificial and enduring love you showed us on the cross and through the empty tomb. I pray for my work and my daily responsibilities, Lord. Please help me to do everything with a heart of service, but without the pressure of perfection. I ask that you would guide my hands and my mind, giving me clarity when I am confused and patience when I am frustrated. May I see my daily tasks as an opportunity to spend time with you, turning my work into a form of prayer. I trust that you will provide for all my needs, just as you care for the birds of the air and the lilies of the field. I surrender my financial worries to you, believing that you are my provider and that you know exactly what I need before I even ask. Father, I pray for those in my life and in this community who are struggling with deep heaviness today. For the ones who feel like they are walking through a dark valley, I ask that you would be their shepherd and their light. Please bring comfort to the brokenhearted and hope to those who feel they have reached the end of their strength. I intercede for those who are facing health challenges, asking for your healing touch to bring restoration to their bodies and peace to their minds. May they feel your presence in the quiet hours of the night and know that they are never forgotten. I ask that you would pour out your grace on everyone who is searching for a reason to keep going, showing them the glory of your resurrection in ways they can tangibly feel. My Lord, I find such comfort in the words of Julian of Norwich, who once said, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." I want to believe that today. I want to carry that assurance with me into every conversation and every task. I pray that my soul will be so anchored in your love that even if the ground beneath me shakes, my heart remains steady. I ask for the grace to be present in this moment, rather than living in a future that hasn't happened yet. Teach me to savor the small joys you have placed in my path, the warmth of a drink, the smile of a stranger, the sound of the wind. These are all echoes of your kindness, and I want to hear them clearly. Holy Spirit, I ask that you would be my constant teacher as I navigate this spiritual journey. When I am tempted to compare my path to someone else's, please gently turn my eyes back to you. Help me to understand that you have a unique plan for me that doesn't look like anyone else's, and that is exactly as it should be. Give me the courage to be honest with you about my fears, knowing that you can handle my truth. I want to live with a heart that is wide open to your leading, ready to move when you say move, and ready to stay when you say stay. I trust that you are pruning me and shaping me into the person I was created to be, even when the process feels uncomfortable. Jesus, I thank you for the gift of this morning and for the chance to start again. I am so glad that your mercies are new every morning and that I don't have to carry the failures of yesterday into this new day. I choose to leave my regrets at the foot of the cross, knowing they are covered by your blood and redeemed by your life. I step into this day with a renewed sense of purpose, not because I am strong, but because you are. I ask that you would walk beside me, before me and behind me, surrounding me with your favor as with a shield. Let my life be a testimony to the peace that comes from trusting the risen Lord. My King, I ask for a special measure of your wisdom as I make decisions today, both large and small. Sometimes the choices before me feel overwhelming and I worry about making a mistake. But I remember that you promise to guide the humble and to teach them your way. I lean not on my own understanding, but I acknowledge you in all my ways, trusting that you will make my paths straight. Please give me discernment to see the opportunities you are putting in front of me and the strength to say no to the things that would pull me away from your peace. I want my life to be a reflection of your order and your grace. Father, I pray for the world around us, which is so often filled with chaos and uncertainty. I ask that you would raise up peacemakers and people of integrity in every area of society. Please bring your comfort to areas of conflict and your provision to places of lack. I pray that the message of Easter, the message of hope, renewal, and life eternal, would reach the hearts of those who are most desperate to hear it. Use me, Lord, as an instrument of your peace today. May my words be seasoned with salt and my actions be motivated by your love, so that anyone who encounters me might catch a glimpse of the risen Christ. My dear Lord, as I continue in this prayer, I feel my spirit beginning to settle. The worries that seemed so large just a few minutes ago are starting to find their proper place in the light of your greatness. I am reminded that you are the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and that my entire life is held within the span of your eternal care. I don't need to fear the passage of time or the changes that life brings, because you are the same yesterday, today, and forever. I rest in the fact that you are for me, and if you are for me, who can be against me? Jesus, I ask that you would protect my mind from the lies of the enemy that tell me I am unworthy or that my prayers are not heard. I choose to believe your word over my feelings. I choose to stand on the truth that I am your child, redeemed and loved with an everlasting love. When my heart starts to sink, please lift my head and remind me of my inheritance in you. I want to walk with the dignity of someone who knows they are royalty in your kingdom, yet with the humility of someone who knows they owe everything to your grace. Let my confidence be entirely in you, today and every day. Father, I offer you the silence of my heart now, inviting you to fill the empty spaces with your Holy Spirit. I want to be so full of you that there is no room left for worry to take root. I ask that you would cultivate in me the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I know that I cannot produce these on my own, but as I abide in you, the true vine, I trust that you will bring forth this fruit in my life. Thank you for the privilege of being part of your family and for the hope that never fades. My King, I lean into your presence now, asking that you would extend your hand over the quiet areas of my life that still feel a bit tangled and uncertain. You see the parts of my journey that feel like they are moving in slow motion, and you know the moments when I feel like I am failing to make progress. Please breathe your Easter life into my patience. I ask for the strength to trust the middle of my story, the parts that aren't quite at the finish line yet. Help me to understand that my spiritual growth is not a ladder I have to climb, but a garden you are tending. When I feel the urge to rush the process or force a resolution, whisper to my soul that you are already there in the future, preparing the way, and that I can afford to be still and thorough in the present. Father in heaven, I carry my loved ones before you with a heart full of hope, asking that you would be the invisible thread that holds us all together. I ask for your protection over my children's hearts, that they would not be overwhelmed by the pressures of this modern world. May they see in us a faith that is calm and a trust that is unshakable, even when life is messy. I pray for the elders in my family, that they would feel a deep sense of peace and purpose in this season of their lives. Please heal any fractures in our relationships and replace our misunderstandings with a gentle spirit of forgiveness. Let our home be a sanctuary where worry is replaced by the joy of the resurrection, and where your name is whispered with love and gratitude every single day. Jesus, I find myself thinking of the words of Corrie ten Boom, who so wisely said, "Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow, it empties today of its strength." Lord, I don't want to live another day with my strength drained by things I cannot control. I choose to pour my energy into loving you and serving the people you have placed in my life instead. I ask for the grace to recognize the traps of anxiety before I fall into them. When my mind starts to spin a web of what-if scenarios, please pull me back to the reality of your I am. You are my shepherd, my provider, and my peace. I surrender my need to be in control, realizing that your control is far more merciful and effective than mine could ever be. My dear Lord, I ask for your healing touch to reach into the places where I have been hurt by the expectations of others or by my own perfectionism. So often my worry comes from a fear that I am not doing enough or being enough in your eyes. Please silence those accusations with the truth of the empty tomb. because you live. I am already accepted. Because you conquered death, I am already victorious in you. I ask that you would heal my emotions and restore my mental clarity. I pray for anyone listening right now who feels a heavy fog in their mind, asking that your light would break through and provide a clear path forward. Grant us the wisdom to take care of our bodies and minds as temples of your Spirit, finding rest when we are tired and seeking help when we are overwhelmed. Father, I intercede for those who are facing transitions that feel frightening, new jobs, new cities, or the loss of a familiar season. I ask that you would go before them as a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Give them the confidence to know that their spiritual journey is never a wandering journey. It is a guided one. I pray for the lonely who feel that no one sees their struggle, asking that you would manifest your presence in their rooms and in their hearts right now. Let them feel the warmth of your love, like a tangible embrace. We ask for your provision for those who are struggling to make ends meet, trusting that you will open windows of heaven and provide for every need according to your riches in glory. My King, please grant me a heart of discernment as I navigate my work and my callings. I want to hear your voice above the noise of social media, the opinions of others, and the clamor of my own ego. Help me to do my work with excellence, not for the praise of men, but as an offering to you. I ask that you would protect me from the spirit of comparison that steals my peace and makes me feel inadequate. Instead, let me celebrate the gifts you have given to others, while being a faithful steward of the unique path you have set before me. I trust that you will give me the right words for every conversation and the right solutions for every problem I encounter today. Jesus, I am so grateful that your love is not a fair weather love. You are with me in the storms and in the sunshine. I want to live this day as an Easter person, someone who knows that the worst thing is never the last thing. Help me to carry the hope of the resurrection into the grocery store, into my office, and into the quiet corners of my own mind. When I feel my spirit starting to droop, remind me of the power that is at work within me. I ask that you would make me a beacon of your calm, someone who can sit with others in their worry and point them toward the peace that only you can give. My Father, I take a moment to simply thank you for who you are. You are more than enough for me. You are the bread of life, the living water, and the Prince of Peace. I find my rest in the shadow of your wings. Thank you for the gift of this prayer time, for the way it has allowed my heart to breathe and my soul to settle. I am ready to step out into the world now, not because the world has changed, but because I have been changed by being with you. I leave my worries here with you, and I take up your peace as my garment for the day. Friends, as we prepare to close this time of prayer, I want you to take a deep breath and feel the weight that has been lifted. The road ahead of you might still have its twists and turns, but the one who walked out of the grave is walking right beside you. Your spiritual journey is not a solo trek. It is a shared experience with a God who loves you more than words can say. You don't have to be perfect today. You just have to be His. Let that truth settle into your heart and give you the courage to smile at the future. May the peace of the risen Christ go with you today and every day. May His light guide your steps, His love warm your heart, and His wisdom clear your mind of every shadow of doubt. You are moving forward under the gaze of a Father who delights in you. Go in confidence, knowing that your journey is sacred, your path is watched, and your soul is safe in the hands of the King. Amen.